Duckweed is a tiny floating aquatic plant. In ponds with still water and high nutrient levels, it can grow into a thick mat that completely covers the water. If you're standing at Duckweed Pond at Lemon Creek Wildflower Preserve today, you don't see that thick mat. In fact, you may not spot any duckweed at all. So how did this pond get its name? In 2011, just after Lemon Bay Conservancy acquired the former golf course that is now Lemon Creek Wildflower Preserve, we began studying the water quality in the various ponds on the property. We found that Duckweed Pond had the highest levels of excess nutrients, specifically nitrogen and phosphorus, of any pond in the preserve, and we learned that the neighboring sewage treatment company had for many years been pumping treated sewage effluent into the pond that was used to fertilize the old golf course. At that time, the pond was covered with a thick mat of duckweed. In the fall of 2012, using a grant from the Charlotte Harbor National Estuary Program, we initiated steps to improve the pond's water quality. With a long floating net, our volunteers used kayaks to collect the duckweed at one end of the pond. Then we used smaller nets and a diaphragm pump to remove the duckweed from the pond. Because the sides of the pond were too steep to add many plantings, we installed 2 floating islands filled with aquatic plants. The plants helped pull excess nutrients out of the water and had the side benefit of providing nesting habitat for common gallinules. We also installed a solar aerator to add oxygen to the water column and improve pond health. To limit nutrients flowing downstream from duckweed into other ponds, we added a riser pipe in the pond to limit flow out of the pond except in very high water situations. Over the years, the pond water quality has improved. By 2014, we noticed that the duckweed cover had largely disappeared. But despite the improvement, the pond still had the worst water quality of any of the larger water bodies within the preserve. When Lemon Bay Conservancy began working with the Southwest Florida Water Management District in 2015 to design a major habitat restoration project for the preserve, part of the plan was to transform the size and shape of Duckweed Pond. The proposal was to expand the pond outward to the east and west, and to place the excavated soils back into the pond. The new gradually sloping banks would allow addition of nutrient-filtering plants, and the soil covering the old pond bottom would bury nutrients embedded in the muck at the bottom of the pond to isolate the nutrients permanently from the water column. Funding issues with the restoration project did not allow us to fully complete that restoration plan. The idea of adding soils to cover the pond bottom was eliminated. However, in late 2020, with donations from LBC supporters, we expanded the northwest corner of the pond, creating a new shallow wetland area and adding more than 1,300 perimeter plantings. Species planted included pickerel weed, spike rush, golden canna, arrowhead, blue fag, iris, and fireflag. The new wetland area has become a popular foraging and bathing spot for herons, egrets, and other birds. Over time, we expect the water quality in Duckweed Pond will continue to improve.